practice identifying the functional groups in the following structure. This organic molecule contains 3 different functional groups. On the left side of the structure, circled in blue, is an amine. On the right side of the structure, circled in red, is an alcohol. In the middle of the structure, highlighted in pink, is a double bond, which is an alkene. Let's practice identifying functional groups of an organic molecule. Let's go from left to right. First, we have an amine. If there were a double bonded oxygen adjacent to the nitrogen, this would be called an amide. Next, we have this oxygen, which is between 2 different carbon R groups, and this is called an ether. The structure above is a carbon double bonded to an oxygen between 2 different R groups, and this is called a ketone. Below, it looks like we have a combination of an ether and a ketone, but because they're adjacent to each other, this is called an ester. Above the ester, we have a double bond, and this is called an alkene. A carbon-carbon double bond specifically. Next, we have what looks like another ketone, but it is only bonded to one other R group. If we add in the other bond, it is just a bond to a hydrogen atom. This is called an aldehyde. Finally, we have a carbon-carbon triple bond, which is an alkyne. Let's practice identifying the functional groups in the following structure. This organic molecule contains 2 different functional groups. On the left, circled in blue, we have an ether. On the right side of the structure, you may think there is a ketone and an alcohol, but circled in red, because they are adjacent to each other, we have a carboxylic acid. Let's practice identifying functional groups in an organic molecule. As you can see, this organic molecule contains several different functional groups. So let's start by identifying them from left to right. The leftmost functional group is this carbon-carbon double bond, and this is called an alkene. Above the alkene, we have a strained structure containing carbon and oxygen. This is called an epoxide. Next to the right, we have a structure that looks like it might be a ketone or an amine. But because the carbon double bonded to the oxygen is adjacent to the NH, this is called an amide. Next to the right, we have a carbon bonded to an OH. This is called an alcohol. Below the alcohol, we have an oxygen that is bonded to 2 R groups, and this is called an ether. Finally, on the right, we have a carbon double bonded to an oxygen that is between 2 R groups. This is called a ketone. Let's identify the functional groups in the following structure. This organic molecule contains 2 functional groups. On the left, circled in blue, we have an ether. On the right, you may think that this is a ketone and another ether, but because they are adjacent, circled in red, we have an ester.